Hey Aries, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for January 16th, 2025. This is for Aries. Last shuffle coming out for Aries. All right, Aries, you're being highlighted here as a person who needs to set some healthy boundaries when it comes to family, your partnerships, people you've known since you were very small. So sometimes that could be, some of you could be with someone that you've been with since you were a child. You know how like you date someone and you're like, a kid and you're like, we've been together since kindergarten. But also too, there's something here. I mean, it doesn't have to be that far back, but say you were so young at that time, right? There's a need for you to set some healthy boundaries and that and those connections. You have kindred partnerships, and these are people that it was like you may have felt like you had to leave, you had to go. um, so that sometimes could be your parents, like you had to leave the home. You may have had to leave your friends behind, or children behind, even to that degree. There's something about children involving this, and this could be you as a child. All right, there's something about I had no other choice, there was no other way to see this, right? You had to change your life for the better. You had to make some decisions that were very hard to do. You may have been thinking negatively when you left. You may have felt trapped when you left, or that you were behind in some way. There's something about you needing to count your blessings now and focus on where you are at this moment and the positive changes that you've made since, right? There's heart to heart conversations that need to be had here, I'm seeing. But these are about the healthy boundary in these connections would be forgiveness of the past. Not saying, okay, it's okay that, I felt like you were holding me back. It's okay that you made me feel like I had to work so hard to, like, and you would abandon me, or you weren't there for me when I needed you most. That's the energy that I'm seeing. Um, but I also feel as though you didn't need them. That you may have felt like you needed them, you may have felt like they held you back, you may have felt like they should have been there for you, but that wasn't part of your path. That what happened is what was supposed to happen. There's a need to forgive the past events and focus on now, because your life, whatever happened back then, has really truly no bearing on where you are now. This is that weird vibe of like, you ever meet people, adults that are 50 years old, and they're still, or even younger, okay, still saying they can't make it in life because their parents did certain things to them. They're still saying, I can't make it in life now because so and so didn't give me that shot at 20. And you're looking at them like, listen, you had 30 years to figure this out. You had however long to figure this out, right? You're still alive. You still have full capacity, like you're not disabled, or even if you are, there's still a way. If Stephen Hawking can sit in a suck and blow wheelchair where he couldn't even speak, everything had to be computerized. If he could still utilize what he's got to be the man that he was, then what's the excuse? And that's where spirit's coming from with you. And I apologize because I really don't like saying that to anybody, but that's what is here, because I like to validate where people are. But the one thing that they want you to understand is that no one stole your energy. Well, if someone did, it doesn't matter. You're overflowing with it, right? If someone tried to make sure that you just, no matter how you slice it, you were miserable around that person, spirit purposely wanted you to be in that space so that you would walk away, because you were not meant to be there in the first place. Even if they were perfect, life was great, you still weren't meant to be there. That was still not part of your path. You weren't meant to be comfortable. You weren't meant to stay stagnant in a situation. Sometimes we wonder about that. Like, I had, if my parents were perfect, what would you actually have done? Would you have stayed home? Would you have had the drive that you have now? Would you be where you are now? Would you be as intelligent as you are now? Because what was the point of being intelligent when you had your parents to back you up all the time? You think about these things regardless of how messed up it was. Spirit is trying to encourage you. They're not trying to say, or validate, or not validate, but justify how other people's actions affected you, or what they did and the choices they made. That's not the point. The point is that sometimes we won't walk away from certain things if it's cooperating with us, right? That's like the vibe of interventions. If you were providing an addict with money and comfort and the leisure of not having to buy anything, or focused on taking care of themselves or starting or bettering themselves, they would you would dig an early grave for that person. And some, and not to say you don't have drive, that is not the point either, but if you didn't have to do the things you did, where would you be? And so spirit is throwing that out here, the decisions you felt trapped into making, right? Two of wands, eight of swords, and then you have kindred partnership with justice, eight of cups, three of pentacles, and hanged man. Spirit wants you to see things from a different perspective. The only way that you're going to be able to is when you have these heart to heart conversations, because I am seeing that you are setting the healthy boundary of saying, listen, I see things a little differently now. i'm I'm good. I'm the one that creates my reality by what I think, dream, and imagine. I'm the one that creates my own reality. I understand why I had to walk away. I understand why I had to go in this direction. I'm enjoying where I am because I know I won't be here for long either. And I know what I have in front of me, right? And especially if you are deciding to travel, you're saying, I want to expand my education. I want to I want to learn different philosophies, religions. I want to expand my beliefs. I want to expand my vision. I'm looking for something. I want to travel. They're throwing out here that that needs to be the basis of the conversations. The heart to heart needs to be the truth of what's in your heart, of where you want to be, because you know you're not going to stay where you are right now. Like, you know, you're not going to be here forever, right? You're attracting success right now. And so focus all of your conversations, instead of being focused on the past events that put you in this position in the first place. Let's talk about your position and what your position will be, right? Um, you don't need them. You don't need anybody. You don't need whatever happened. Like, in order to, also too, there's something about a person that may be like, I need you to admit that you sucked. And they're like, you don't need that either. That's not the closure you need. The closure you need is enjoying where you are now. Find things to be excited about in your personal life right now, compromising with them. I get it. You were human. That's what you did. You know, you're human. This is your path. My path, though, isn't about that. That's not my story. You know what I mean? That's not me. So the vast universe with the Wheel of Fortune and Eight of Pentacles is talking about you're meant to move forward. You're mastering something. Your life is changing in a positive direction. You're going through a great shift. I mean, a huge shift for the better. I'm seeing angel number 1122. Now, 1122 is about your personal growth, and it's about focusing on the positive changes occurring due to your efforts, not because of what someone did to you, not the victimizing, because the Eight of Swords oftentimes speaks of a victim mentality. Are you choosing a victim mentality, or are you choosing to break free from it, is the question. Two of Wands and Eight of Swords, right? And 1122 speaks about expanding your horizons, trying something new. There's positive shifts in store for you usually when that comes out, right? And the world around you is changing in favor of your intentions. So that healthy boundary that you have with people when you're speaking your heart out is about your intentions, not about what they did, because that's not important. You'll be putting too much emphasis on obstacles, victimization. You're not a victim. You're a survivor. You're a freaking champion. You're Aries. You know what I'm saying? So I have to throw that out there because, Lord, optimism with the Five of Wands and Four of Swords, ignore the challenges. They're wanting you to, a Four of Swords is about ignoring things sometimes, or turning, not necessarily turning a blind eye to it, but saying, I'm at peace with this. Like, it's cool. You don't have to agree. It's cool. You didn't have to support that. You didn't have to support me. It doesn't matter, right? I overcome my challenges, right? I not only do you overcome your challenges, but you always beat the competition. You were born to compete. You were born for this. That's that vibe. Optimistic about that. Today I'm filled with energy and overflowing with joy. You can't stop that. No one can stop that. You know, that's the optimism here, the thought process. But you got this kindred partnership energy. Like I said, usually that is romantic, and it could encompass any relationship, because a kindred partnership, I mean, kin could be family, but it also could be people who think the same, who had the same path as you. These are also people that perhaps you had the same vision, or you guys started doing the same things, or you have the same vision in mind. That's where this is coming from. Also forgiving certain people for what they've done, for they know not what they do. And on top of that, this is also saying that they may be in the same boat in a sense, and they just tried to put you in the boat that they were in. You know what I mean? And we'll just set that there. How about that? Because we're going to have a candle. Fire is my element there. Four of Wands and Hierophant with professional assistance would tell me that this is also people that are celebrating your wins. These are people who are in a space of choosing to follow their own dreams and to understand that they're also meant to be celebrated. These are people that may be trying to come towards you and the people you're connected to express like everyone deserves to be celebrated. And not only that, you have to choose to listen to spirit. You have to choose to to follow your own intuition. To hmm huh. It's like not only choosing to follow their own spirit, but also this is this Taurian energy of celebrating what you have, what's stable for you right now. And so these are people that are trying to talk to whoever you are needing to forgive, and also to you. They're trying to assist in that energy by celebrating and supporting. So you've got two different energies of ones who are naysayers in a sense, right? And they're naysayers because it's difficult to take accountability. It's difficult to say, I messed up, Aries. I should have supported you. I shouldn't have abandoned you when you needed me most. I should have been right and fair and followed my intuition. Instead, now I'm facing karma. And so, well, I mean, what can you do about that? That's out of your control. They're showing that your life is shifting in a positive energy. These are people that are needing to understand and learn to enjoy where they are, because whatever, and they're needing to forgive that these things have happened to them. That's another part that spirit wants you to understand too, is that the people that have done these things to you, this happened to them. Not to say that you should be like, yeah, sure, I accept that you abandoned me, and it's great, come on back in. You could still, that's your choice, right? Because they're asking you to compromise and have that healthy boundary of like, you can come back in, but we're going to focus on where we are right now. We're not going to keep talking about the past. I don't want to keep hearing about how they hurt you and abandoned you, so that it just keeps triggering me to remember what the heck you did. We're moving forward. You know what I mean? And so that's another thing spirit wants you to understand, why they want you to forgive, is because this is something that is like a pay it forward. You forgive them, they're in turn free to forgive who did this to them. That does, it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you necessarily. This is about your path, but also to freeing someone from feeling as though, it's like when you are blaming other, I won't say blaming other people, but when you are putting a lot of energy on the bad things that they've done, they're placing that bad energy onto others, and it just keeps going. It's like a ripple effect. They won't get out of it, you won't get out of it. It's time for you to be the leader, and you are the leader anyway. I mean, you're Aries, duh. But that's where they're coming from. Someone needs to heal their inner child. Starts with you. Okay, so you could be dealing with a Libra, a Pisces, a Sagittarius, or a Taurus, right? So you could be an Aries Taurus cusp or a Pisces Aries cusp. If you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.